Okay, I was taking a walk. This time it's me who found this kit. But I found it in the weirdest place. This squishy kit was found at a video game store, more specifically EB Games. And for only $10 Canadian, it really caught my attention. Because it says, color me. But when I look on the box, it looks like we're drawing on it, not coloring the actual squishies. I feel like the salt is going to be rising today. On the box, it says, as seen on Crafty Carol's YouTube channel. I decided to take a quick look at the video, and I'll say it right away. You can tell that when she's using the paintbrush, the paint looks like absolute trash. Trash. And at some point it even looks like layers were added off camera. And because we have to wait 24 hours between each layer, this is not an ideal kit if you want to add layers, because then it's going to take you like a week to finish a project. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right, without further delay, let's see what we get inside those squishies. Because that's what it says here. They're squishies, not squishies. I'm getting so salty right now. So here's what we get inside. At first glance, this looks pretty cute, right? We're getting 2 squishies. Well, what if I told you these are 2 half squishies? Yeah, flat back squishies. In essence, they're pretty much using a half mold to make a squishy. You're getting cheated. 4 tubes of paint in the absolute weirdest, randomest colors ever. They say we can mix them, but not quite sure what color variety they want us to get. A soft paintbrush that I quite like. Glitter and chains. As well as the instructional manual. The interesting thing is, on the YouTube channel's video, it says to wait 24 hours. Whereas if you look at their instruction on number 5, it says, let it dry for 30 minutes. Oh my God. So if we're only supposed to wait 30 minutes, that's good. But if we're supposed to wait 24 hours, then it's not good. Guess we'll find out. The next thing is this box says super slow rise. Let's find out. Here's their squishy, and here it is real time. It's decent, but not super slow rise. And that is mostly attributed to the fact that it is a half squishy, not a full squishy. Whereas if we look at these smushy mushy squishies, it's a lot more pleasant and a lot more slow rising. Actually, they're kind of the same. I stand corrected. But it's still half a squishy! Just going to look at details. Maybe I'm being nitpicky. Maybe I'm extra salty today. But if we look at the little loop, you'll see that it's kind of looking scratched and bumped and uneven in terms of the foam coverage, as compared to the smushy mushy, which we have a more or less even coverage. Not sponsored. Smushy mushy smell great though. I really do love these squishies. They smell really good. Whereas this smells like a factory. All right, let's get painting. So I definitely want to give this bear some extra bits of the same color, but kind of like markings. So let's do a little triangle on top of its head. So as you can tell here, the coverage is really poop. It'll show a lot better once I start doing the pink. Let me show you. So here it is with 1 coat, and they do say to give it at least 3. So let's see how long it takes to dry up. But in the meantime, I'm going to do a little bit of decoration here and there. So as I'm starting to paint it, I realized that it's just way too thin and way too poopy with the brush itself. And then when I started to use the back part of the brush, it was like... glorious! Yes, very glorious. I feel like the squishy gods came down upon me and said, do it this way. So I came back half an hour later and it ended up being just a little tacky, but then again, we did use thick coats.
Yes, very thick coats.
So I decided to go over the parts that looked very transparent and gave them a little bit more body. Right, Angel? He decided to join me because he was screeching his little lungs out because he missed me. Angel, you missed me? I guess that's a no. While we're waiting for this to dry, let's play a little game with Angel. You ready? We call that bird shuffle. Right? Angel, come here! I said, bring your butt on my shoulder. Why'd you hit me? Why? Hey, show your face and explain to people why you did that. Tell them. Is it funny? So even though on the paper it says 30 minutes, I am back 2 hours later because I am a generous grape. I can tell you right away, I had high hopes, and then I had negative hopes, and then I had high hopes again, but now I am
back to the salt.
Let me explain why. If we look at this bear, you can see the paint. I haven't touched it yet, I haven't squished it yet, and you can see over here, the paint is starting to peel off all by itself on the squishy. We didn't squish it yet. It's not gonna take much effort to do this. That's it. Saw that? It was just a squeeze. See? That's it. That is why on the box they're squeezing it from the side and not from the front. But I only squeezed from the side and the paint came off. If you're wondering whether or not it's because we did thick coats of paint, the answer is no. The reason that it's peeling off is because the surface of the squishy is way too smooth. It's very similar to the Karina Garcia one, which is a crap kit as well. And that one, the paint peeled off so easily. And so we're going to have the same thing happen again and again if the surface is not sanded. They said to put the sprinkles when it was wet, but sprinkles come off. It doesn't even leave a mark, just a little bit, but it's really a clean removal. I think these guys are candidates for squishy unmakeovers. Time to find out, is this kit worth it? Here on SaltEcrafter, we like salt. Because of the name, SaltEcrafter. If you like sugar, feel free to balance it with some salt, because too much sugar is not good for you. But apparently, research says salt is great. Please make sure you research. The first con. These squishies are not full squishies. It was a little misleading, because I thought they were a whole piece. But it turns out they are flat. Kind of disappointing. The box says, color me. But it's obviously not a coloring a squishy. You're pretty much drawing on it. That's a big difference. Don't lie. The video on YouTube itself is advertised towards kids, but in no way whatsoever does it mention coats. You just see it being painted and then it looks great. So they are cutting and kind of misleading kids on the kind of project they have to do. The video advertising this kit does talk about waiting 24 hours, but the instruction in the kit is 30 minutes. I feel like regardless how long you wait, the results were gonna be the same, but consistency is important. Con number 5 comes back later for another con, but the surface of this is too smooth to be decorated. Even though they say to put glitter when it's wet and then let it dry, the glitter comes off. Because of con number 5, con number 7 has to do with the paint coming off. So all the effort you put into this to make it a squishy that you can put on your bag, it turns out to be crap because you have to start over. It peels off on it. You don't even have to squish it. I didn't even get a chance to squish it. It just came off all out. Look, I'm so upset I can't talk anymore. So in essence, this kit is absolutely useless. The company didn't make sure that whatever they created is ready to be used. So the surface itself is not ready for people to use, which makes me realize that this company, the Alex company, isn't testing their products. From what I know, they're a pretty big company. Looks like I'm gonna have to get more of their stuff to test it out. All right, even though there are quite a bit of cons, I have a little bit of pros, just a little. It does have playability. I was so into decorating this piece and I was having fun. Even though you have to do multiple coats, that is a given with any squishy decorating, but they really should be mentioning it. in the video. On the paper, they do mention it. So for $8, it does have playability, which means that probably in the US, it's like $5. Again, if the surface is a little rougher and able to take the projects, it is an absolutely cute and adorable project for ages 6 to 9. After that, I think a little more challenge would be required. With that said, I am really conflicted because I enjoyed putting this together, but at the same time I was annoyed because the end product just didn't work because the company didn't do their own research. So I would give this kit a 2 on 10 dorks. I'm still conflicted. This is one of the first rare times that I'm conflicted because it's an $8 kit. That's what bugs me. It's an $8 kit, but it doesn't deliver the end product. So I'm gonna stick to my score, and it's gonna get the 2 on 10 dorks. If you sand it, it would probably have a way higher score, probably a 7. So if you have a kit like this, sand the surface. If you want to watch a salty video, make sure you check up here, and if you want to watch a crafty video, check it out down here. Until then, I will see you grains in the next video.